What's going on, YouTube? GraveCinder here, and welcome to episode 18 of season 4. First and foremost, I'd like to thank all of you guys for the compliments on the new logo. I most appreciate it, and as well as those of you guys who have purchased some T-shirts as well. I believe there was like 6 sales, so thank you. Hopefully you guys enjoy the merch, and every once in a while I'll redesign it a little bit and kind of put out something new. And I'm working on some discount codes as well, and I don't think those will come until we reach like I believe 100 sales or something like that is when that option for me unlocks. But it is what it is. Hopefully we'll get there when we get there. So aside from that, episode 18, I mentioned to you guys in the previous episode that I'd have something kind of to do right in this area-ish, and I still do. In between episodes, I did absolutely nothing. So we are sitting at 3.9 million, so we have plenty of money to mess with whatever we'd like to. About 20,000 coming in per week, 39,000 in population, and a decent demand for residential, commercial, and a little bit of industrial. So before we go ahead and take on this project over here, I want to increase the population just a little bit. So my thought is to put in some additional low density residential, so say about up here, and maybe a little bit up here, kind of around this current residential area, and then a little bit of commercial right over here, kind of where it started already. So turn this into like a commercial block, and then a little bit more residential right over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up with a little bit of a layout for all of this. I will be back, and then we'll start messing around with this side over here. Before we do any of that, I have decided to buy that tile and buy that tile. Next 3 tiles are going to be this one, and this one. And that's going to be our city. So I will see you guys in just a moment. All right, guys. So this is what this is going to look like. So over here, I've put in a small area for some low density housing. I got to put in some parks and whatnot and some schools. Over here, we have an area for commercial. And then this right here is actually going to be some high density greenhousing with a high rise ban. So let's actually go ahead and start with the, how about commercial? We'll start with commercial right about here. And get rid of that, and yeah, we'll add one right there too. That's for power transfer. We'll start with that as well, just like so. So we'll put the game on 3 speed. This should come in fairly quickly. And then over here, let me see where the district goes. It does cover all of this right here. So we will put in high density residential in this whole block. Actually, you know what? I don't think I want to go this far, or this far for that matter. Here we can actually put in, why not, a little plaza right there, Paradox Plaza. This should transfer power here shortly, any day now. Maybe by putting a plaza right there. There we go, perfect. Additionally, what I did is I provided walkability throughout the whole area right over here. So we have some pathways going here, there, and everywhere. So it should be an easily accessible area to all. And then for this residential demand, let's fill all of that in. Get rid of that. Oopsie. There we go. So we'll kind of drag it all the way down this way for easy power spread, and then we'll fill in the rest. Now what we do need here is obviously schools and city services. So let's, if we upgrade to a big fire station and kind of put it somewhere over here on a corner. It actually won't do much. It's not a good place for one of those. So let's put it kind of tucked in right over here on this side. We'll follow it up with a police station right here on the corner. Then what we'll do is we'll go into schools. And where are these ones? The community school. So this is in replacement of the elementary school. So let's make a little education area right over here. We'll follow it up with a high school that we could place right about there. A couple of parks or plazas right over here. So let's come through and put in a basketball court with a tennis court, because sophisticated area, so why not? And then over here, let's put in a little playground. So that should be good. These buildings should not go higher than what they're at currently. And the residential demand is not going away. So we'll do a little bit more just right here. We'll put a couple right there. Then as far as commercial goes, yeah, we can actually zone all of this right here. And what we'll do is we'll put in that block right there. I see people are already using the streets, coming through over here, spending some shopping and whatnot. Nice to see. Definitely nice to see. And then over here on this side, let's do a little bit of mass zoning as well for some easy power transfer. So we'll go there, put a corner house right there, and we'll come. It's a little too close over there, so we will do this. And there we go. So that should get us a little bit higher up in the population. We'll fill this in with some trees and kind of let or make this area fit in. But I like the way it's coming along, right? A little bit of high density mixed in with some low density and commercial with a high rise band. Looks good to me. So what I have in mind over here, right? I want to put in a little bit of polluting sources, and we got to fix this too. I don't know what's going on here. Regarding flooding though, we have this happening right here too, which we'll have to fix as well. But we'll get to that when we get to it. Back to over here. So what I want to do here is I want to put in some oil and ore, right? And you're probably thinking, well, why? Why right in the dead smack middle of the map? No other reason other than to make this area feel a little bit industrial, old, dirty, polluted. All of it mixed a little bit, and I think it would fit well kind of close to the interchange where we kind of moved into a green side. right? So obviously, we don't have any natural resource here, such as oil or ore, right? This is all just farming right here for now, and I'll show you guys how to get rid of this too, just in case you're somebody new to the channel and have not been following along all the way through. But there is a way to make an oil and ore, and I'm talking about industry, not just regular zonable industry. And looks like we just lost the match, a bunch of unhappy faces. There is a way to make a sufficient and profitable industry without having the natural resource, and that's with the power of import, which we're kind of gonna design in this area as well. Now, before I do that, what we absolutely have to do is kind of fix the terrain, because if we go in here and we take a look at, where's there it is. It's quite uneven, and especially in this area where I'd like to build, right? So while I'm doing that, what I'll do is I'll fix this right here. So it looks like all we gotta do is just raise it a little bit, and we should be fine. And then over here, I have zero idea as to why there's so much overflow into this area, but this is a good area to build, so I'd like to not have flooding there. I might extend it into a little bit of a something, right? But we'll see. So that's what I'm gonna work on. I'll fix the terrain and whatnot, and we'll get to building. So hopefully by the time I come back from this current cut, it's still the same day, and I execute the ideas that I have in my head. Because I'll be honest with you guys, I've tried to do this for about 4 days now, and every time I sit down, something always comes up where I gotta get up and leave, and then I come back and it's just, what was I doing? One of those. So that's what I'll be working on right now, and hopefully I'll see you guys in just a moment. Alrighty guys, so this is kind of sorta what I had in mind right over here in this area. Now I did do a little bit of terraforming over here. Like I said, I went ahead and I made this canal, river, whatever it is, just a little bit wider to kind of keep all that water in, and I went ahead and raised the shore right over here. So hopefully no more flooding. But this is where the sweetness comes in, right? So the idea here is going to be with the additional train tracks right here. Looks like that I have yet to connect. We're gonna have cargo trains coming in and out. This one right here, not yet finished, but the layout sits just as so. And I added a an additional solar updraft tower over here, simply because in the last episode, if you guys recall, when we were doing the health check, we were a little bit low on power. So I wanted to show you guys quickly, if you have not been following the series for since the beginning, or any other of my series, how to get rid of fertile land. So it's very simple. Go and grab a tree of any kind, make it the largest tree brush that you can get, and just spam a bunch of trees. And you'll notice that yellow land is going away. And then all you gotta do from there is delete all of the trees. Again, using the big brush. And voila, no more fertile land. And this is also helpful in the winter maps when the fertile land just looks like somebody had peed on it. So you can get rid of it just like so. But other than that, industries, oil, let's get started. So the trick here, first and foremost, obviously, you gotta put in a district. So let's go and put in a district that goes just like so. Okay, that's gonna be our oil district, our starting oil district. And when you go in and you place the oil main building, so just like so, right? You're gonna unlock two buildings. You're gonna unlock the small oil pump, the oil sludge pyrolysis plant, and the small crude oil tank farm. So normally, when you have oil as a resource on your land, you would use the small oil pump, spam a bunch of those, pump up oil, which will then feed the oil to the oil sludge pyrolysis plant, which will in turn produce petroleum, right? But we don't have oil in our land. So what do we do now? Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna import that oil. So we're gonna use the oil sludge pyrolysis plant, and we're gonna put, let's go 1, 2, and 3 right there. And we'll put 3 more, 2, and 3 right there. So now they're calling for oil, right? Not enough raw materials, which is oil. We have 0 out of 144 barrels in one of these facilities. We're also lacking power too, but that'll transfer here shortly. So let me come over here because I did forget, and let me connect the train tracks. So we're gonna do that. We're actually gonna change the orientation right there so it's incoming. And that will come through here. And we're gonna need it to connect. Let's see if this will work out for us some way, somehow. And if not, all we're gonna do for the purpose of this demonstration is try to hook it up just like so. There we go, because this is the line that's feeding in, right? So this will bring in the trains, which will bring in the oil on the trains, the trucks, tankers, I should say. And they'll dump it right here. They'll come out, they'll come through here and feed the pyrolysis plants. Now, the reason I'm doing it with import via cargo train is because I want to avoid as much truck traffic over here as I can. And so this actually starts working. Let's connect power just really quickly. There we go. Perfect. We have power. So this should work here shortly. Whether it comes in on a truck or a train to begin with, it doesn't really matter. But what happens from here is this will produce petroleum after we bring in some oil, and then what we can do is we can store it. So for that, I've left a little bit of room right over here where we can put in a few medium, I believe it's a medium, right? Yeah, medium warehouse. We'll select it, and stored resource is going to be petroleum and petroleum, right? The additional thing that we can do, and you should do, is grab one of these guys, and it's the crude oil tank farm, and this will store oil for us. So as we import excess oil, we'll be able to store it as well. So when these guys are asking for it, they can have it on demand. So check this out. We have a couple of trucks. They have brought us some oil, 74 barrels looks like, and we're gonna start producing petroleum. Once we produce the petroleum, we're gonna come over here and store it in this warehouse, which I have set to balanced. The other options are fill and empty. I have it on balanced because I want to import and export this stuff as well. And can you see right here? the cargo train actually has tankers on it, tanker rail cars, right? So now let's come over here, we'll leave it on 3-speed. When these trucks come out, they have the oil truck. Pretty cool, right? Except I have no idea why they're all going out that way. Perhaps I should have made this a one-way in. Curious, which way are they going to go? Are they going to come? Oh my goodness, they're going to go all the way down this way, turn around, and come back in here. So that's a little bit of a design flaw, but no problem. We can easily fix that in the near future. And this stuff pollutes, just so you guys know, this stuff does pollute. Put some water in here. And this one's getting some oil. And there we go. So we now have a successful start to an oil industry without having oil in the map. What I am going to do over here, though, is I will select the districts and go into policies. I'm just going to go ahead and enable all of them. You'll notice that we are losing money in this industry right now, which is no problem, right? Starting out, I believe, even with the regular oil industry, you'll start out with losing money, and then you'll make the money back. Currently, we are importing $640 worth of oil, which will increase in the near future. So the goal here is to get to level 2, which we needed 4,500 worth of more resources to produce to get there. At which point we're gonna unlock the petrochemical plant that is going to take requires oil to produce a specialty good plastic, and then we can use plastic for additional items. So we also have the waste oil refining plant, which will come through as we put it down. They produce petroleum as well, but at a greater quality, and it's a bigger building too. I can't select it to show you guys, but we'll be able to replace some of these smaller buildings with the larger buildings to kind of make it look a little bit more developed in a sense, and more of a high class operation, right? And then we can also upgrade to the naphtha cracker plant, which requires oil, I believe, as well, yeah, in order to produce plastic at a greater quantity. So that's kind of the idea that I have right here for this part of the city. I think it's going to look nice. It's going to take a while for us to reach 5,000 in resources. At which point we'll upgrade to that level 2 and kind of design it a little bit more. The reason I'm not doing the ore industry as well in this episode is because it's just gonna take way too long. So we'll get to that in the next one. But the same exact idea. You don't go with the pumps, right, or the collectors, I believe is what they're called. You go straight into the production, right? So producing petroleum right away by importing the raw resource. And traffic-wise, I mean, there's looks like a little bit of commotion right there, but otherwise we're doing good so far. No backups, just some regular, a little bit of a backup right there. But just some regular good old-fashioned traffic. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a design with rock and whatnot over here. Once we put in the ore industry, we're going to expand out this way and come around and and mess with it a little bit more. But for now, I am quite happy with the way this turned around. And you see, once we import extra oil, it's all stored. And I believe this guy now, yep, he took the oil and he's delivering it to one of these plants right there. So once we get extra oil, these plants don't have to wait for the oil. It's just available right on demand. So we're going to fill these up. And then over here, you can see that we're storing petroleum, which we will need at a later date once we unlock the factories and whatnot. So if you come over here, I think one of the... No, it's got to be right here, yeah. So the reason I'm doing all of this is because I wanna utilize some of these larger factories, right? Like for example, the lemonade factory requires glass. This one I believe requires, yeah, clothing factory requires plastic, which we don't have yet. But once we produce plastic locally, because plastic cannot be imported, if you take a look, I don't know, it says it somewhere, I'm pretty sure, but plastic cannot be imported. It has to be made locally in order for us to utilize some of these plants. So that's going to be the goal there. Hopefully this episode was a little bit educational for you guys. But it looks nice. It looks nice. I like it. It looks like we're getting a little bit of a train backup over here too, which we're gonna have to fix again. A couple design flaws in this. I'll work on that as the area develops. We'll make it as efficient as possible. We just need to start getting to those higher levels, unlocking the bigger buildings and whatnot, and move on from there. Just be as efficient as possible. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Let me know what you think about that brown spot right in the middle of our city. I think it looks kind of cool. Oh, you know what? The other thing that we can do is I've noticed a couple of places that were complaining about garbage. So since we now have a polluting area over here, what's preventing us from putting in a incinerator? Right about, I don't know, here. But yeah, that's gonna be the idea. And power wise, we gotta connect this way as well. Let's go ahead and do that real quick because we are running low on power. So my little trick for that is we're gonna place this sucker right there. That's gonna hook up the power to the other side. Perfect. And now we're utilizing all of our power. So as always, guys, be the best that you can be in everything that you do. And I will see you on the next one.